You go to bad and good neck and no. You don't know?
Hello everyone, thank you very much for joining me in this session celebrating Refugee Week. My name is Rihab Azar and I'm a musician who was born in Syria and then came to the UK in 2015. I live in London and I'm delighted to have been asked to talk to you through the wonderful platform that is Celebrating Sanctuary Birmingham. I want to say thank you so much for the lovely team. We've worked together on multiple occasions and it's been an absolute delight to perform for their audience and to maintain such a wonderful relationship. So I'm hoping this session will be family friendly as much as possible. I'm going to be talking to you about my instrument, which is the oud. Bits and pieces about my own journey with music and coming to the UK. And my work here, and we are going to have a look at the stages of making the oud. I was very lucky to be able to witness that as a child because my father, who was the first one to make an oud for me and teach me the oud, had his workshop inside our home. So I was able to see the stages of how an oud would be made. So I will be sharing that with you with some pictures, and at the end, we are going to try to make string instruments from bits and pieces of recycled materials that we might be able to find around our home. And of course, I'll be demonstrating the oud, playing some of my favorite tunes and some of my compositions as well. So I thought I would start with something from Syria. I will be playing a muwashah, which is supposed to be sung, but I think it sounds nice on the oud only. My voice is not that good, so I'd rather just play it for you. little bit about my early start with the music. So I was very lucky because my family was very musical, my father and my mom. My dad used to play the oud and lots of other instruments as well, even before he decided to start making them. And my mom has a beautiful voice, and she also plays the oud. My father was the one to teach her. That's nice. Yeah, so and there was music all around the day at our house. They used to love classical Arabic music and also some bits and pieces of world music. So yeah, music was surrounding my childhood. It was very nice to be able to listen to a variety of styles and to kind of absorb the Middle Eastern repertoire early on. So yeah, I started on the keyboard. I had a tiny keyboard, and then right about the time I was 7, my dad decided to make me a small oud. I'll be showing a picture of that for you later. So he made me a small oud that had a flat back instead of the round one because I was really tiny. So that was easier for me to hold in place. And he started teaching me, and within a few days, I learned a few tunes. And then it was like really one of my favorite activities to do in life as a child. It was like a toy for me to play with. And I kept learning new things, and then it got a bit more serious over the coming years, and I decided eventually to study it at the Conservatoire of Damascus. I changed majors. I was supposed to become a pharmacist, but I dropped out around about the 4th year, and I decided music is what maybe I'm supposed to be doing. So I studied at the Conservatoire, graduated in 2014, and unfortunately, during most of my study years at the Conservatoire, it was the war, as you know. So it was quite tricky to carry on with making music and practicing and commuting to the Conservatoire during more dangerous days. But of course, I consider myself to have been very privileged to just survive all of that, really. Yeah, so after my graduation, I worked for a year at the Conservatoire as a teacher's assistant, and I had this conflicting situation. I was doing very well with my career, but Syria wasn't very safe anymore, and it felt like it was the right decision for me to try and move countries. With family not having much money, and I not wanting to risk ways to leave, I was determined to get a scholarship. And I've heard about the UK and London especially, and I felt like a calling. I should try and come here and study. And over a year, I worked on getting a scholarship to study at UCL, and I was so thrilled by the end of that long journey of attempts to have received a scholarship and an offer from UCL. My scholarship was called Chevening, and it was just maybe the most life transforming moment in my life to get that scholarship and come here and study. Yeah, it was wonderful. So I finished a master's degree in music education, and since 2017 I've been teaching primary school children whole class music, and it's been just wonderful. And I've been very lucky also to go with my oud to all sorts of experiences, whether composition, multidisciplinary things, storytelling, visual arts, theater, television. Yeah, I've been feeling very lucky to be invited to get involved in various things. And I think this is what I was hoping to tell you. I was very sensitive to the term refugee when I first arrived here, and I still don't like it. It's not very nice to label people, and I think if we reflect on this matter, we are all kind of refugees in a sense. We all seek safety wherever it feels present. We seek safety, growth, sense of security. We seek a place where we can dream about more things or different things. And I genuinely believe that the most fundamental human experience is to be included and to be inclusive. And that's why I love being part of community projects and initiatives that promote the importance of inviting others into our lives and also giving ourselves to life and to our communities fully. And I think unless every single person of us, whether a child or an old person, unless we can experience that openness towards the other, there would be quite a lot we're missing out on in life. Anyway, I'm rambling now, aren't I? Let's play some music. So I think I would like to play you now a piece from Egypt by a composer who is very, very famous. He was a genius, Muhammad Abdul Wahab. And this piece is called Bint al-Balad, or the daughter of the country. And it's a very dear piece to my heart because it was one of the first ones, not first ones, but it was one of the pieces that my dad taught me kind of early on in my learning journey. And whenever I play it, I remember him. Hello, Dad. My family now lives in Canada. things you prepare when you're an oud maker, about to make an oud, is a long, strong piece of wood, which you would be able to chop into long stripes to make the ribs. The ribs are going then to form the sound box of the oud. So if you can see, those are all slices of wood glued together. I'll show you how it's done in a second. Basically, you leave these stripes in water for a few days so the wood can soak water, and then it would be then easy for you to bend them, because they have to bend eventually to have this round shape. So you bend them on a hot machine. It's oval shaped. You bend and bend and bend to get the right shape, and this is how you end up with. They're all bent. And then you would have had your mold, which you use over and over to make different ouds, and then you line them on top of this mold one by one, and you glue them together. You see? Adding more, and then it's complete. Once it's complete, you take it off the mold, and then you smooth it out with sandpaper, and then you end up, this is obviously the inside. You glue them together also from the inside, and then with sandpaper you get a very smooth back. So now we're finished with the sound box. This is a different sound box, a different oud. You can use different types of wood, not just one. So here I wanted to show you there's a mixture. Now the chest, we call it the sadr, the chest of the oud, the front. You need slices of thin wood, and then you line them next to each other, and then you glue them, and then you cut them around. This is obviously lined up. You cut them exactly to the shape of the sound box, cut them round, and then you put some holes for the sound to come out of the sound box. You can decorate them, as you saw in my other oud. They had what we call shamsiya or amra, which adds lots of nice details. Yeah, so this is the sadr, the chest. We put it on the sound box, and then those, actually before you glue it to the sound box, the chest needs to be strong from inside. So it's not just a sheet. You have these lines of wood that go across the chest in the back, so it can be steady and for the sound to be distributed nicely. So this is on the other side, inside the chest. Some children, when they see this, they laugh. They say, it looks like a person upside down. It does, doesn't it? Okay, now we come to the peg box. What's the peg box? It's this place where the top side of the strings will be attached. And it looks like this. Obviously you drill holes in it, depends how many strings you have in the oud. And those are the pegs, mafatih in Arabic, keys, we call them. So you get it ready. And here, at the end of the sound box, there would be this bit that would keep the neck, this is, we call it the neck, that would keep it in place. This is the peg box once it's finished. Now the neck is attached, peg box is attached. It's starting to shape up. Yeah, here I wanted to show you something you might have noticed between the toes. So this one is the one that my dad made me later. And you can attach the strings on the chest in two ways. You either make them go all the way down here, you attach them to the back of the sound box and use a bridge, or you attach them straight to the bridge itself. This wood I bought from Turkey. So here, once we try to attach some rubber bands across sound boxes in a second, you will see the amount of tension there is. So that's why there was this other way of attaching the strings. It takes off the tension of the bridge. So attach it here. Obviously the solid sound box provides solid bass, so you don't have to worry about the strings snapping off the bridge. It also gives different sounds. So for oats where the strings are attached straight to the bridge, the sound is, to me, it sounds a lot deeper and more mellow. I do use both oats. Depends what kind of sound I'm after. And this one, this piece, we call it the pillow, where the strings rest before they go to the peg box. Voila! This is a full oat. Another angle. The back, obviously. Yeah. I hope you enjoyed seeing this. I can't tell you how much fun it was to see oats made at our home. I think I was very, very lucky to be able to witness every step of the process and smell the lovely smell of the wood and the glue. And yeah, my dad used to have music all the time in his workshop, so it was a very rich experience. I would like to play you now a piece from Turkey. It's called Mandira Hikaz. Now let's experiment with making sounds with normal objects we can see around our homes. On a very basic level, you would need just something to resemble a sound box, like a container. We're going to try a few, see what kind of sound each makes, and some rubber bands. We can, if you have paper clips, we can make use of them. If you have wooden sticks, we can make use of them. We might need scissors, but on a very basic level, rubber band and a container for a sound box is all you need. We're not going to worry about the neck, because if I may show you just very quickly, the tension would be way too high for any object around our home to sustain. Look, this is just a rubber band, and still, if I was to make a neck, it would be, look, the bend. There's a huge bend, so it would be a bit tricky. So let's not worry about the neck that would have. Right, so I will start with the thickest one, the thickest rubber band I have. Let's see. Okay. Let's try following this one. Okay. And maybe let's try folding this twice, see what happens. You see, the tension is already kind of bending my container. Ooh, I like that. You see, the more we increase the tension, the higher the sound is. I'm gonna keep these two, I like it. Let's see what we can do with this one. It's a thick one, so I expect the sound to be quite low. What happens if we double this one? Ooh. What happens if we double this one? Now let's experiment jumping around between them. Okay, let's see what happens if we try to maybe tune a bit more. Maybe wrap the paper clip round a few more times, around one of them, to increase the tension. Oops, it snapped. Just a tiny bit, to change the sound once more. And I'm also wondering what effect it might do if we stick a wooden stick here, like the bridge or the pillow we saw in the wood. Let's see. Maybe a bit more clarity in sound, I guess. Maybe we can hold it in place with the paper clips. I can sense some more clarity in the sound. I'm not sure if you feel the same. These are not the strongest things, but let's see. They can serve us a bit. I like that. Ooh. So yeah. I'm not sure about you, but this is quite a lot of fun for me. Let's try another container now, yeah? The next container I thought I'd try is this one. With round shaped ones, you might find it harder to keep the rubber bands in place. But try as much as you can, and I have a solution that I also think might work for you. Let's just wrap around just some random ones. I'm thinking this looks like it's long enough to go twice. Not quite, it might snap actually. Maybe not. Let's try the orange. The more you get to the side, the more it feels like it might snap. Let's try the same one. Okay, and green maybe. I have a good feeling about this one. Oh, it's like a scale. Oh, it's changed. Oh, you see? You can fiddle about with how much of the rubber band you want to keep on the top, so maybe you squeeze it out to make it a bit more tense. It gives you a higher note, and when you loosen it up, it comes down. It's like a scale now. Da, da, da. Let's try with this one. Ooh, you see? The more you loosen it up on the outside, the more it gets tighter here. I like that. Now, I thought if you found your rubber band slipping, you can try keeping them in place with the wooden sticks. I found it helped a bit with the one I tried to make earlier. So let's do that. Okay, let's see. What do we want? It depends what kind of sound we want, really. So we tune those accordingly. Do we want it to feel like a scale? Da, da. A bit less. Da, da. Da, da, da. Ooh, that's a perfect scale. Da, 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 da. It's expected over time because it's rubber bands and they might loosen and the sound might change, but yeah, you can always get back to it, tune it a bit more. Okay, let's compare these two sounds, see what you feel. Well, I will leave this with you, and maybe you will have more in your imagination to experiment with different sorts of stuff. Let me know how it goes. I'd like to share with you now a piece I finished writing recently. It's called Indulgence. I will be using the loop pedal and layering some sounds as we go. Hope you enjoy it. you so much for joining me in this session again. I hope you enjoyed it, and I really look forward to the next time where we will be able to meet in person. Take care and see you next time.
You go to bad, good neck, no.